Mirage, or Durante la Tormenta. Totally butchered that, but guys, come on, give me a break here. All right, getting right into it. Should you watch it, guys? Straight up, I'm gonna say this movie just made me feel like an idiot. Like I was watching this and I was like, man, okay, I'm ready. Cause I really liked the director Oriol Paulo. Oh God, these names, man. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry, but I'm not really. Oriol Paulo. I really liked this guy's previous movie, The Invisible Guest, right? So I knew what this one was gonna be about since I also watched the trailer before firing this up. So I kind of knew what it was about, right? Like about this woman who has a connection with a boy from 25 years ago who died in a car accident, and she saves him, but finds that by saving him, she changes her life, a la the butterfly effect, and she loses her daughter. So the whole movie is her trying to revert history back to the way it was and find her daughter. So the setup is cool. Like it has a little bit of a Back to the Future 2 time traveling aspect to it, also butterfly effect, all that good stuff. So I was really excited about it, but when I watched it, I was I felt like I needed like a graph. Like I needed to take notes and like draw a graph of all the stuff that was going on. And the problem with this movie is that it's just too much stuff that's going on. Like the atmosphere is great. The story kind of makes sense on the surface. Like it's really simple, but then you're just the whole time you're like, okay, well, if she wants to get her daughter back, she needs to just turn everything back to the way it was. And the most direct way you can do that is making sure the boy dies. Right? Like, you see, the whole thing is like the boy didn't die, so then it changes everything. So then wouldn't the whole thing be solved if she just makes the boy die? Obviously, she can't do that because that's a terrible thing to do for your main character. But how else is she supposed to do it? Like, what is the other option? Like, the movie presents you with like a bunch of options that she has. Maybe find the boy now, but she doesn't really look for him, right? Like, she's not. It's not like a thing. I mean, you understand why it's not a thing later in the end of the movie. But it's just you're thinking about the whole time, it's like, well, just find the guy, find the kid, right? And the thing is, the time traveling aspect of the movie is very not helpful to the story because she can't physically travel back to 25 years ago, right? She only has 72 hours to solve everything. So the 72 hours is also in 25 years ago. So the time is ticking. Like she can't go back to the point where the boy didn't die. Like when he was supposed to get hit by a car, like that is the start of the 72-hour clock. So she can't actually go back and make sure he dies. So that option is not even available to her, right? So she only can solve the problem in her present day in 72 hours, which is a problem, guys. Like that's just you're thinking about the whole time, like, well, what can she do to make sure to go back to the way it was, which she can't actually go back to the way it was. And the whole thing revolves around like a murder mystery. Like the whole thing's like, oh, she needs to like discover her neighbor who killed his wife and then like uncover this murder as well. What does that have to do with getting her daughter back? Nothing. I don't understand how she solving this murder from 25 years ago helps her get her daughter back. Because it doesn't have anything to do with the time traveling or this boy like thing. Like it doesn't. It just doesn't, man. And she herself, like the main character, Dr. Vera Roy, like she loses her daughter, interest in her daughter, like halfway when the murder mystery starts, because she's like, oh, I need to solve the murder mystery. I'll forget my daughter. Like I mean, and then in the end of the story, I'm not gonna spoil it, right? But it all ties together, kind of. Like the movie tries super hard to explain how everything works, and I think it does it well enough that it's plausible. But for most of the 2 hour runtime, you have no idea what you're watching. I mean, if the movie was just like the first act, the setup, the third act, the payoff, and everything in the middle was just cut out, and you just tell me how everything works, I think it would have been a better experience, right? But instead, you're left watching an hour of like plot that doesn't really have anything to do with anything, and then there's all sorts of other side plots in there added in, like that again doesn't have anything to do with her getting her daughter back. So Mirage, guys, Mirage, should you watch it? I mean, I would say no. I can't recommend this. But it is on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, why not? It's actually one of those movies where, like, if you don't think about it, it actually is more enjoyable. But it's one of those movies where you're supposed to think about it. You're supposed to, like, go with the whole twist and try to figure it out. But the more you try to figure it out, the more your brain might explode. So guys, did you see it? What did you think? I know lots of people love these kind of movies. Lots of people love this movie. Lots of people love The Invisible Guest. In my opinion, this is nowhere near as solid as The Invisible Guest. So if you want to watch something like this, and you haven't seen Invisible Guest, I would recommend watching that. Alright guys, that's it. I'm out. See you next time.